Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another Bad Batch episode review. Today is episode 8. Bad Territory is what the episode's called. And let me just say for a second that this episode is pretty bland. It feels like filler. And to me, so Fennec Shan's in this episode. Her episodes in the Bad Batch are always meh. I don't hate her as a character, and I actually think she's pretty good in was she in Mandalorian? I don't remember, but she was in Book of Boba Fett. She's good. She's not like a bad character. But it kind of feels like Filoni had one mandate because he didn't like make most of these, but he did create the series. I bet he had a mandate like put Fennec Shandon at all times, and it's like, yeah. So they're trying to figure out what M counts are, even though this whole plot, this whole episode could have just been like completely different if Rex had just told them, because I know that Rex knows. I guess Cody is not with them, by the way. I got that wrong last time. I thought he was. Apparently he's not. But Rex literally probably knows, and he could have just told them, but he didn't. There was an interesting new creature, Silas, whatever that creature is, like a praying mantis type thing that like fights. It's pretty freaking sick, honestly. Um, I love that new location space where they met Fennec Shan. That was a really cool area. And I was thinking when I was there, I'm like, I really wish that we could play. And Outlaws is going to do this, so I'm not totally mad about it. But I wish we could play in like a criminal underworld, but like in space. So like we would leave and go somewhere on a planet to do a mission, and then go back to like the criminal underworld like space base instead of like a planet. That would be cool. But Outlaws is going to kind of do that. If they were to do a sequel to Outlaws, they could probably do that. I just wish there was a game in that specific location. I don't know where it is, but that's what I really like that. Also, we got to see Space Skaters, which I don't think is a canon edition right now. I could be wrong. I think this is this is a canon edition. I don't think it's ever been in canon before, where it's just like straight up like alligators or crocodiles or whatever it's space. It's not like in space, but like they're on a planet. Actually, that whole episode kind of reminded me of when I was in Port Orleans in Disney World. I went there for a vacation, and that was my hotel that I stayed at. And it's just very like and it's very like Louisiana type, like New Orleans. And that's kind of I mean, I've never been to Louisiana, but that's the vibe I was getting from this. Also, there are scenes between Crosshair and Omega because Omega's told to stay behind, and so Crosshair's kind of there too. And that's really cool. Because well, Echo's not with them, so the whole Fennec Shan mission, they're trying to get information, and Fennec's like, "Yeah, I'll help you out if you do this for me." But that's just Wrecker and Hunter. That's it. So Crosshair and Omega are back at home base, and they're just meditating and stuff because Crosshair his hand is like busted, and they think it might be a mental gap, which it is, by the way. Spoiler alert, that's definitely a mental gap. But I love that Omega was able to learn meditation from Gunji, the Wookiee. That's so cool. I love Gunji. I love Wookiee Jedi. That's so cool to me. Fennec, at the end of the episode, after they capture Silas, the praying mantis thingy, then double crosses them, and there's like an unknown hunter that's gonna go track them down. To me, this episode feels like we could have just had that happen. Why did we need this interlude to that? Why wasn't there just a hunter tracking them down? Why couldn't Fennec Shand have like seen them in an alley, did a little voice cameo, and that was it? Like, why did we have this whole episode? Because like we get weekly episodes, so now I have to wait a week to see what happens here. I mean, binging wise, this is a great thing, but I feel like when it's not binged, you're like, okay, now I have to wait another week to see what happens. This isn't an awful episode, and I don't want to act like it's a bad episode overall. I definitely think there's good parts in it, but I will say that it fails in its like what it wants to do. Like it wants to be better than just filler, but it ends up feeling like a really big filler episode. And in a season where you only have 16 episodes and you're trying to wrap up a season, you really can't ever have filler. And the fact that this one really just is kind of filler, I mean, you could skip this episode and read a quick plot synopsis and you would understand exactly what's happening. And I don't love that because that shouldn't happen. Because I could have just done that. And I didn't. I watched the whole thing, but that's what it feels like I could have just done. I'm going to give this episode a 6. Probably a little high, but I'm just thinking right now, it wasn't like bad. Like there wasn't anything bad about it. It's just that in the context of where we're at, it doesn't really work. And if it was in a different season or if it was in a different point in Bad Batch, I think that this would have been a completely acceptable episode. It probably would have been like a 6.5, maybe a 7. So I have to retract a couple points because it's just bad timing for the episode. The season as a whole right now, if you average out everything and you divide by 8 or whatever, it's a 7.5 out of 10 right now. So that's not awful. But we're starting to head into some mid territories. Not awful yet. I'd say, I mean, mid's 5, right? But like, I would say 7.5 is where you start to hit the. Would I rewatch this again? I don't know. You know, and like, do I like it? Sure, but you're also like hesitant on that too. And I want to really like this season. I want this to be a banger. So they have plenty of episodes to, kind of bring that up for me. I still think that the length of these episodes is way too long, but I don't think that's going to change. So I'm not going to continue to criticize that. I'm just going to kind of point it out. But this was, a step in the wrong direction for the series, but hopefully it'll be rectified in the next one. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Comment down your thoughts on the episode. And I'll see you guys in the next review. I was supposed to review X-Men 97, but that's probably going to get pushed back because I am still binging that series. So I will be done as fast as I possibly can, but I might be a little bit late on those. I'll just review them in the style in which they were released, and there'll probably just be a couple days in between. I'm not too worried about not getting them out like fully on the day that it comes out. Obviously, I haven't been doing that with Bad Batch anyway. I just want to review the episodes when I have the time and review them in the order in which they were released in the segments in which they were released, if that makes any sense. Hope you all enjoyed. Love you all. Peace.